everyone. This is episode 108 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is the Miles Tracker, and also the number one fan of Gabe Seagull and Osman Silla, OSG. How's it going, sir?
Woo woo. Yeah, man. Mileage tracker. Shit. Busy weekend. Busy weekend.
Yeah.
Busy weekend, man. Starting early Friday. I think let's see, what did I do? Five or six games this weekend. 2 and 3 in person. So yeah, busy weekend, man. All over the place. But soccer.
You're definitely like over the 6-digit mile counter at this point. It's probably something crazy, but you just want to keep it simple.
Yeah, I feel like it. I'll post the mileage tracker after this episode right here.
Yeah. No, this weekend in particular, though, a lot of games to talk about. As you mentioned, you were pretty much in all of them, and I was here unfortunately dealing with stuff, and still able to watch soccer and college soccer happening at the same time. And there was this game that happened. I think it was like Rutgers against Massachusetts. Like the girls literally, they got into like a fist fight, and there were like a lot of red cards. So I thought about you because you probably sent those people off if you're a referee.
Oh, good thing I didn't see that video yet, so I'm sure I will, though, because I haven't watched any TV this weekend at all. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see that on my feed tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah. No, but yeah, guys, it's gonna be a busy one. We got 4 games to talk about, and we're gonna go ahead and get started with Dynamo 2 here, because Dynamo 2, they were assigned, at least by us, we assigned them to win both their games. And this first game in particular, I'm very pleased. Hat trick by Osman Silla, just to top things off. It was a very fantastic game, to say the least. And the boys got it done. And yeah, I just want to see what you want to say, OSG, because I want to talk about Diego Gonzalez.
Yeah, well, going into this game, it's a doubleheader versus Minnesota United. You're hosting them twice. You're pushing for the playoffs still. You're still below that line. So, you don't know what to expect from Dose. They've been playing well, but the last loss was against North Texas 4-1, where you thought you played well, but you gave up a bad scoreline. And then you're like, that against the first place team too, so that was just a bad performance. You didn't know what you're going to get coming in here. And then on a Wednesday night, and like you said, Silla with the hat trick, wide open hat trick for all 3 goals pretty much, and Gabe Siebel had another one there, another one there, and it's just a bit of brilliance, man, just a bit of brilliance, and it was fun to watch that game. But yeah, you can't leave Silla open. But Bundy told Silla, like, hey man, I'm tired of watching you dribble around and pass the ball. It's time to start scoring. So I think he's changing his game a little bit. It's interesting to see if he can continue it following this game. But yeah, great game from Silla, and way to get the hat trick and score, and just look incredible because he was just working players, just dribbling around, man. So good performance, and obviously no Diego Gonzalez with the with the red card, but whatever. It ended up we didn't need him, so it worked out.
Well, yeah, it was a big game, to say the least, because I was going to say, not only were we coming off a bad loss to North Texas, but also we're missing one of the best midfielders in MLS Pro right now, which is Diego Gonzalez. Now, I was watching the game, and pretty much those got it done. Like, they were able to find all the spaces, and Silla was just like you said, wide open, just at the right place at the right time. So they were just put the game away almost immediately.
I mean, the first goal, he was just so wide open. Granted, we stole the ball inside their box, and you just make one pass, and he's right there. But they didn't. You give the ball away on a goal kick inside the box, and your defenders are so far away they can't even pinch in, and Silla's just sitting right there ready to pinch it in. And he didn't even hit it first time. He took a little touch and put it back in the corner as the keeper's coming across. So he's playing around too at the same time, I thought. But what a way to start it. That just kind of set the mood for the rest of the night. Didn't know that was the way it was going to play, but yeah, they just left him open, and then the rest of the night it was just Silla.
No, and really, like, they started losing the game because of the penalty kick, but after that, they were just pretty much goal after goal after goal after goal, and keeping the pressure constant, and it turned out that way. So pretty big win for Dynamo 2. They ended the game with like 18 shots, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and nine of those were on target, so it was just insane. And and Xavier Valdez, you got a feel for him because he didn't record a single save here, but yeah, it was probably defense doing overtime.
Awadosu just killing it
Yeah,
back there on that back line. Was the captain for this game too, with Diego missing. But you mentioned that penalty kick. At least it was early. Xavier tried to come out on a ball that was played into the box, and the winger was making a run, and he was just late. I mean, he was late. So
yep,
got the guy. The guy was touching the ball away from the goal, but it looked like he would have still got to it. So whatever, it's a penalty, and they make it. But granted, it was early. You were still playing better, so don't panic. The boys didn't panic, and they were able to, like you said, put it back, and still it was able to score. Not even too much longer either. So, hey, one mistake, you fix it, and you move on, and you don't give up. And the boys didn't, especially when the way the season's been happening. That could be a killer, especially that early in the game, and it didn't. So that's good news to see from the boys. Just take one to the chin and get up and just keep fighting.
yep. And this was a big dub, heading into the other game against Minnesota United on Sunday, because that was on Wednesday. The next game was back to back on Sunday,
Yeah,
also back
puts
at
you
Sabercat Stadium.
that puts you 3 points from the playoff line as well too with this win.
Yep,
So you wait to see who else plays on this friggin' next pro plays every single day of the week. It feels like now. So you wait to see who plays on every
literally.
other day, and then you go into Sunday night and you try to beat Minnesota again, and you see what else everybody else does, and you see where you're at the end of the line right there. But you have a chance. I think it's 6 games left now after this Wednesday game. You're still pushing. You're still available. You're still there. Keep going. Keep going, boys.
Yeah, and also, made official this week. We did talk about this last week, but Exon Arzu signing the first
Mhm.
team contract with Dynamo, and also we do have Andy Batioja
With
signing
Exxon,
on loan with Dynamo too with
with with
Exxon at the
with
same time.
Exxon,
So
let's make it a little bit clear that Exxon's signing a first team contract, but he's still going to be playing for Dos next season, barring
right, yeah,
anything special in the preseason. He's still down the depth chart, but first team contract earned for deserved as well, and but he'll pretty much, let's just say it's 100% sure, 99% sure that he'll start on Dos next season, barring any outcome during the preseason where he could take someone's position. You don't know what form Quinones is going to be in. You still have a Nolly and a Liu, though, at the same time. So, yeah. Easy on Arzu. He is first team contract, but he will most likely be on Dose. Uh, don't worry, we're not going to play a natural right wing either. So you still got Bossy and Sebal over there. But you never know. We'll see what happens over the offseason. He may be needed. He may earn a spot. But right now, the way things are, he's Dose.
yep. And this was a full transfer from Real Sede España back in Honduras, and this is going to be a 2-year deal until 2026. So, and through 2029, there's going to be options. So, depending how things go, we can pick up his option at any time. So it's a big contract here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of faith for sure.
Absolutely. 5 years. That's nuts.
Yeah, no, from here to there, like who knows what can happen, but I'm looking forward to it. And also Andy Batioja, this is going to be a 1-year loan. So it's gonna go through next season with Dynamo 2, and there's gonna be an option to buy. So of course, if things go well, he's probably gonna get transferred here full time. And yeah, I went on depth last time, but I just want to say like I'm pretty excited to see him play for Dynamo 2. So I'm looking forward to that.
So this guy, y'all can expect an article for one. Well, we'll see if he comes if he finishes his research, but not a lot of professional time, not a lot of tape on the guy. Just this one's a scouting network pick and choose and found this guy. He does look exciting. He can be exciting, but definitely a dose signing, a chance, like you said, loan. So it's not hurting us. It's not going to cost us really. Uh, but there is some excitement there. The Colombians, so we're going with the South American route again. Well, let's just go American route because you just did on Honduras with Central, and now you do Colombia with South Americans. So hey, I like staying on this side of the hemisphere too. At the same time, you're not getting picked off by, or you're not competing with a lot of the European teams. I mean, you are, but I think the way we're looking in cracks and crevices, and somebody that's hot but not catching the eyes, and Dynamo are pulling triggers. So I like this, man. Building that academy back up too as well. So starting with Dose, obviously, but the kids are playing.
Yeah, and as long as they keep playing for those, that's all that matters for us, especially the development. So we'll have to watch them, and depending how their season goes and if they get to play, we'll see. But yeah, there's a few handful of games left, so we'll see about that.
I mean, with these two,
And
man,
yeah,
this friggin' Dose is going to be could be super exciting next year. Arzu,
yeah.
you mentioned the Botiga. You still have Silla, a Nor. You know, you don't know if Gabe Siegel's going to be able to make the first team roster next year, even though he's friggin' just playing absurd right now. So I like what you trust the process, Pat. Got the kinks out the first team, rebuilt the first team, focusing on the second team and focusing on the academy. And then, sure, he'll be focusing on the rest of Houston and the youth around that and trying to bring them into their academy. Obviously, there's a lot going on with the youth as well.
A lot of things to look forward to, honestly, and I just hope also one of those things is academy, but we're seeing slowly that they're starting to produce more talent than usual. So I just hope they get to stay more often and actually turn out to be a great product because we have like a pretty bad record historically. So hopefully that's the case.
Hey, we'll see what's going on. Even, jumping ahead, not to talk about the Dynamo game at all, but to talk about what would happen before the Dynamo game. It was Kids Day, and they honored one of the U15. I want to say 15, but it might be U13. One of the HTX teams ended up winning the state championship at their age group and their level of play, and they were honored at the stadium for Kids Day this weekend. And so it's good to see that, not only is the academy looking better, but HTX is bringing up players across the age limits too. So being ranked lowly in the academy system across the United States is we're moving up that ladder right there very quick. So this Ted Siegel, Pat Onstad, Asher Mendelson, Jessica O'Neill situation, it's working, man. It's working. It's working. I like it.
Yep, and we'll definitely get back into the Dynamo game because there's a few things I have to say about that. But we gotta go with the Dash game first because that one happened on Friday. Um, and like we said last episode, they were playing Orlando Pride and they lost 1-0 back in Houston. I didn't have a lot of high expectations for this game. Obviously, Orlando Pride have yet to lose a single game for in the season so far, and I was expecting Houston to pretty much just work for it. And I'm not as upset only because the way the game turned out. When I see Ricky Ball now because Fran Alonso's still gone. I think it's been like 2 months now, but Ricky Ball. Either way, I see it, and it's working to an extent. We lost this game, which definitely sucks. But I guess Orlando Pride, I saw this team just pretty much lock down the spaces and pretty much give a headache for Orlando the entire game, and Orlando had to work for this win. So for me, it's a silver lining, but somewhat sad that it turned out to be this way, this result.
Well, you said no high expectations, but there was expectations, and you're curious to see what the players that were returning back from play, from Olympic, from injury, from overseas. It's been 2 weeks since we last played, so they're healthy, they're ready. You would think so. Curious to see who plays. Bachman's not back. Kaiser's still injured. Rumor being traded, possibly. There's still a couple. Amanda West was still out. Salon was still out. Even though Salon's not like one of those key major pieces, but so there's still some pieces missing for Ricky Clark, and Bachman's the huge one that we need to get back in there and enlist back into the lineup. But like you said, coming to this game, Orlando's undefeated, have not lost. They're 11-5-0, 5 ties, no losses in the season, and Banda is just incredible. Howell leading the league in 12
Yep.
goals, 5 assists coming into this game. Fun fact, Theo Lloyd posted after the game, Banda being held scoreless 3 times this year. This being the 3rd time in this game, and we'll get a little more detail into the Banda performance. Technically, the Tarsi performance, but Banda hasn't scored in 3 games this year, and it was 0-1, 0-1, and 0-0 games for Gotham. So if you can stop Banda, you have a chance to beat Orlando, but just didn't happen, man. But man, Orlando undefeated. You know what they're going to bring. They're just a special team with some good players and some great attack. And I'm hindsight. I'm very proud of what the girls did that night and just performed with the highest standard and the highest not efficiency, but highest effort. There's still some things to complain about and some things to touch on and to improve on, obviously, especially when you do lose a game 1-0, even though it is to the best team in the league. You still didn't score. You had a couple opportunities. You hit the post, but there's some things to improve on that you could have done better. But like you said, Ricky Ball, I'm liking it. Let's get into the deep dive of the game a little bit more, though.
Yeah, man. And straight up, we could have scored a goal in the first 2 minutes of the penalty spot, but for some reason, after getting because because the game started, like Orlando kept up the pressure, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. But then of course Diana Ordonez got the ball inside the box, and for me, looked like she got stepped on and went to the ground. There was no penalty kick call, but the referee was pretty much told to just go to the booth to check it out, and they checked on it for like a minute or two, and no call there. So I was like, "What the heck?" But I don't know here what you want to say. You're the referee.
Well, no, those are subjectable. I was at the game, so I don't get the privilege of watching a replay or seeing the VAR on Prime as they're showing the fans and all that good stuff. But I wasn't one of those yelling for penalty when it happened. You did see Ordonez go down and look back, so you're like, okay, well, what happened right there? Because it was hard to tell live, with especially all the way across the field from where the press box is, and in the box it was crowded. You just see Ordonez go down in 2 minutes, and you're like, oh man, okay, well, you look at the referee, no reaction or whatever. We go play, give up a corner kick. First off, I'm like, man, I don't like this rule where you can continue to play the game. The opponent scores a goal, then you go back to VAR to check and see what happened over here, and then you're going to take it back and go all the way back over there and be like, this goal doesn't count. We got to play from here. Penalty kick. I think it's stupid. If once the other team wins the ball, you need to stop play right there and just and figure it out and then restart play. But like you said, she went to VAR and she didn't come herself on the TV screen to call a penalty, and she said play on. So like I said, without actually seeing all the close-up replays, I can't make a judgment, but the crowd inside the stadium wasn't calling for it too much. But like I said, I'm all the way on the far side from where it happened. Unfortunate if it was a penalty, yes. What could have taken it? Would have taken it, especially against Orlando.
Yeah, because from the broadcast, it pretty much looked like she got stepped on and should have been a penalty. But yeah, it is what it is. Another day in NWSL.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, I guess that was one of the.
Put my pad back on the right there so we can watch replays during the game. That's the one thing I'm neglecting on doing. Got to remember to do that, man. We need that. I need to watch those replays in the press box.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it's fine because sometimes it takes a while for the replays to get posted. But yeah, that was probably the Dash's closest opportunity to score in the first half, because they didn't get as close as that, as far as I can remember, because I was able to watch the replay. Yeah. But yeah, the first half was pretty much Orlando all over. That Houston's trying to stay back and trying not to do anything, and of course Jane being Jane and all that. So that's kind of obvious.
It first half for me a little bit of a 50-50 battle.
Yeah,
we keeping Orlando from countering too much. They did counter a little bit, but at the same time we were able to keep some possession. It was an interesting first half, and You go into the half 0-0 too. So you're like, okay, hell yeah. You're complacent too at the same time. Just like, all right, I like this, but the ball, man, we're moving the ball too slowly. Too slowly. So
Yep.
you win the ball back from Orlando, but then you don't push. And you're not anticipating the next ball. There's not a lot of one-touch passing. I turned to Herman at one point, and I was like, I wish we could just infuse a little bit of the tiki-taka to the dash whenever we're playing that close to the box, because we couldn't find our way to get into the box. We couldn't find a way to get actual good crosses into open players into the box, and it just the transition was just too slow and allowing Orlando to defend and set their defend. And you can't do that against a team like that of that quality. You got to take your chances, and you got to push with a little bit of energy and exert it to take them on. And I think that's the biggest slack that we had from the entire game, by the way, which just wasn't possessing the build up quick enough and moving forward. And it just allowed Orlando to defend. You can't do that against the top team in the league. So that's my biggest complaint from the game. Ricky Clark was happy with the performance in the first half, believing that our press was a little bit better than theirs, and which made them adjust their game. And once they adjusted their game is when Orlando finally started getting back into their groove and gained control of the game. But at first, Dash had him on the ropes and was very competitive and playing them, man. And it was good to see and made you feel confident about it. And hey, who's Fran Alonso?
Right. He's I guess legally he's still a coach, but we don't know anything yet for the past 2 months. So I guess it's pretty much Ricky Ball. But yeah, I was gonna say that the way they played in the first half, I guess I was being a little bit too harsh because the attack was just slow, and Orlando was just trying to figure out where to go. But yeah, Houston, they stayed on their toes in the first half, and they were able to just be like a constant problem for Orlando to try and move forward. And that's the thing they had to do primarily here because their front line and pretty much how they build up from the middle of the park is just terrifying. And they weren't doing a pretty good job like in the first half altogether defensively. So kudos to them.
Well, I think Orlando made a big mistake too here. Banda, 12 goals, 5 assists, golden boot leader right now for the NWSL. She started on the right side to start the game, taking on Paige Nielsen. Took on Paige Nielsen once, and then I looked up and they switched her over to the left side to battle Tarsi. Hindsight, Tarsi did a excellent job taking on Banda and slowing down Banda and creating enough trouble for Banda to where Banda could take some shots that you like. She's going to score this, but no, she forced her to think and make decisions and move too much. And Tarsi was stopping her doing this, and Banda's got that speed too. And even over Tarsi, she's got that speed because Tarsi's got these 6-foot friggin' legs where you can gain ground, but Banda's just friggin' ridiculous. And she was trying to beat her around the ground, but Tarsi with her shielding the ball, using her power, and was getting in Banda's way, and Banda was getting called for fouls trying to run through Tarsi. So Tarsi had a great plan, and you can even hear Ricky Clark after the game. Tarsi's just a great player, just a friggin' phenomenal player, man. And if y'all ain't watching Tarsi yet, I don't know what you're doing. Get out of the friggin' dark closet. Watch this girl play. She's a major piece, and hopefully we can keep her for a while. But when it's time for her to go to Europe or wherever she does, I don't know. NWSL is the best league the best league in the world right now. Premier's still a league too, WSL. But what are you gonna do? She could be a mainstay and could be something to keep us over that hump, man. Tarsi's just a friggin' beast. Love it. Yeah, Banda, we stopped her, man.
Yeah, through the first half, for sure, like it was scoreless and the games seemed a little bit close. But the second half was slightly different. At least the way I saw it, like both teams didn't like opened up a little bit, like not a lot, but just a little bit. And you could see like Houston still like getting more comfortable with like moving offensively and just creating more opportunities than usual.
Well,
And it was impressive for me.
there's a reason for those uh, changes for the dash where they were feeling a little more attacking opportunities. Ricky Clark makes a sub at halftime. Adornias comes out and Alozi comes in. And we actually asked
Oh
him
yeah,
that
those.
question. We actually asked him after the game why? What was the substitution for? Or the purpose behind it? And he said it's just you know, Ordonez wasn't making a difference at this point of the game, and he wanted to put in a different style of nine to make Orlando change the way they were playing this game and to stretch the field out a little bit more. And Alozi did exactly that. Granted, 2 minutes into the game, she took a knee to, let's just call it the midsection, and she was down for a minute, and it took her a couple minutes to recoup after that. But then she was back at it, using her pace and just trying to stretch the field. Courtney Peterson comes in later on in the half, and it starts running up that left wing. So he made some good substitutions there in the second half to tactically change the game and allow to push back with the team, and you actually created some good opportunities. I know you'll mention one later with Andressa, who Andressa, man, she's got an attitude when she plays the friggin' game. She got an attitude. She's always
Yeah.
mean and angry and referee and looking at other players. But you know, she is a special talent. When she's in good form, she does a lot of creativity and does a lot for the team. And you like having her on the field, especially when she's playing well. But man, yeah, like you said, to start the second half, it was a little bit different, but still happy with the way that the team was playing and the adjustments that Ricky Clark made.
Yeah, particularly a Losi sub because like lately we've been seeing Diana Ordonez like shut off quickly, and she has not been producing a lot, and like just the way that Alosi was able to play now because she's back for the Olympics. This is great to see. Um, and yeah, she's pretty much just helped open up the game a little bit for Dash, and the opportunity started to like form or at least develop over time. So that was great to see for me.
With the Ricky Clark sub, though, I would have taken Yuki out and dropped Ordonez back in a little bit and then put Alozi up top instead of pulling Ordonez for Alozi. And then maybe sub Ordonez out at 60 if you want to make another little bit of a different move. But we were surprised at Ordonez coming out at halftime. Is the reason why we asked that question. But she could have still been a little bit dangerous. You stretch the field and you put a Lozi up top, and Ordonez is following, and they're freaking a marker. I think that could have been beneficial to the team where they found her left open, especially with Peterson making her runs down that wing and putting those crosses in. Ordonez could have been there with those headers and stuff like that, you know. And Andressa, obviously, with her header and hitting the woodwork with a wide open goal. She couldn't even believe herself missing that one. But it was nice just to see Ordonez staying there a little bit. But I understand the substitution he made, and I'm okay with it. Not necessarily going to agree with it. Give her a little more time. Put them both on the field.
Yeah, the game will open up a little bit, but unfortunately, Houston will concede at 67 minute. Yeah, just the way the build-up went through, at least it was kind of somewhat unlucky, but yeah, it was pretty unfortunate for me because the way Houston was standing up defensively, they were doing pretty good up until that point, and it's just unfortunate.
It just takes one mistake. We Orlando switches the ball. We leave that winger open for the first time all night. And it wasn't Banda that was on that left side. So that could have been something to do with it. With Banda was making a run across and drew the defenders because this girl that I forget who scored for Orlando, but they played her and she's
Summer
just wide open.
Yates, I believe.
Yeah, Yates. She's just wide open, and all she has to do is beat Jane Campbell. Now, granted, that's a task ahead of its own, but when you put Jane Campbell in a situation of 1v1 like that, you're going to beat her if you just put the ball where she's supposed to. And that's exactly what Yates do. Put it on the ground, put it in the corner. Nothing Campbell can do about it. It was just unfortunate. She snuck around the corner on us, and we left her wide open, and sucks because that was the only goal of the game. And it was one that was disheartening too when it happened. Because just especially the way the girls were playing, man, it was a good game, and that goal happened was just Jesus, the OSG sigh.
No, like even after conceding, they were still moving forward and creating more
Yeah.
opportunities and just trying to get the ball in the back of the net. There were a couple that I was pretty sure Houston was going to score, but unfortunately they were like stopped. I think it was either by the keeper or one of their defenders, like from close range. It's unfortunate because the girls were trying. We already said it, but they, they made it work, and they made Orlando work for that result, and they almost got away with something.
For sure, bro. Like, hey, this is something good to build off your confidence. You're trusting what Ricky's bringing to the table. The girls are believing in him. It looks like everybody's on the same page in the locker room. The culture's good. Just curious as to what's going on with Bachman, why she hasn't returned back yet. But man, it's something to work off. And you play Orlando again in Orlando later. Here in about, I think it's 3 more games. You play them again and go back. So you don't have an easy schedule coming up either. You've got Seattle. You've got Washington coming up. You've got some tough matches coming up to work your way up. But they're good games to climb the ladder, because if you can compete and get yourself in the playoffs, then you did it against teams you're going to have to face again in the playoffs. And you've shown you can play against these people and make some kind of a run and in some people's seasons. So just got to keep going at it, and I believe they will. This is not a setback one bit.
Yeah, really the bad news is because there's only a handful of games left, and they haven't won a league game in in a while now. Like it's setting them back a lot, and the windows of opportunity is closing pretty quickly. Like even though we only are apart by 5 points in the standings, they still have they pretty much have to win out all the games and hope the results go their way because it's unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, right now I think your goal is playoffs. If you can't make it, it's maintaining the stability and the structure of the team and the unknowns. The unknown. Who's your coach? Who's your GM? You still don't have a
Yeah,
GM yet. So you need to end the season with a lot of positives going into this offseason, because this offseason could decide some players what they want to do. Are they willing to stay and believe in this project, or are they going to want to go because we can't make up our mind what we're doing over here with the dash right now? So we've got to figure out with the dashing, just get some stability and find a freaking coach that's going to stick around for a full season. Jesus Christ, we find somebody, we say we like them, then things happen. But I'll say it because I like Ricky Clark. I like what he's doing, man. So I like the way he talks. I like the way he coaches in the press conferences. He just sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and you can understand the man. You can't understand Franz. So
yeah,
that's the other thing. So that might be the big difference, man. Trying to teach the styles. Uh, Fran, you can't understand. Ricky, you can't. But we had Paige Nielsen and Michelle Olozi in the press conference after the game, and Paige kind of alluded at the styles being different with Ricky Clark. So I kind of immediately asked Herman to give me his notebook, and I kind of wrote down a question and gave it back to Herman. And he was able to ask Paige, what is the difference, or is there a difference between Fran Alonso's style and Ricky Clark's style? And she did actually answer the question, and there is a difference. So if you haven't heard it, go check out the press conference. It's also posted on Noodle Tempio. We clipped it and posted that one page from Friday night. But it's I think Fran was trying to push the attack too far and left some gaps open, and the girls weren't just colluding to it. Ricky's got that extra person in the midfield, and it's allowing for shorter passes. Now we just need to take that build up and expand it a little bit more, and get that attack going. But it's different. It's better. The girls like it.
yeah, and I definitely respect Ricky Clark and all the results he has pulled out so far, and we have to consider like still a short notice. A lot of people in the squad are still missing for other reasons, and it's pretty much shorthanded to an extent. So
Window
there's that
closes
going on,
Friday.
and the transfer window closes next week, and potentially CC Cards is going to be gone. So a lot of things still going on. Like the one thing that I like to have clarity on with whatever we decide to do for when the off season comes in. Is what's the situation with Fernando Alonso? We still don't have a reason why, officially speaking, because the last one we got it was like from some illness when he was missing for like the first couple of weeks. But it's already been 2 months. It kind of sucks I wouldn't have any information to go off and understand what's going on because it's starting to look like the club is just withholding information, which is definitely not ideal. And I just hope the team is working on that, like whatever project they want to go through. Of course, they have to get a GM now and work with Piñones Arce with the next approach. But well, yeah, it's just unfortunate all around.
Yeah, Jessica. Um, I know you're doing a good thing with the cowboy hats at the end of the game, but I I like it that y'all gave the Olympians those hats too at the same time. But you're probably not the figurehead. I want to see you out there right now doing passing out cowboy hats. I want to see you out there looking for a GM and look and uh,
Yeah.
either establishing our head coach or whatever. And you know, enjoy. I'm glad you enjoyed the game, but yeah, let's not worry about the cowboy hats right now, girl. You got your job is at stake, and you're the next one on the list. So let's fix this thing. And I know you're doing a good job behind the scenes, but right now, Dash need a lot of fixing, and you're the face.
But yeah, so we do have 9 games left, and the next game is going to be against Utah Royals. At least in the standings wise, the worst team is in the NWSL, and those are going to be on Saturday, August 31st at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And that was going to be on Ion, so you need cable for that. So watch out.
Or just go to the freaking game. There's plenty of seats available, so
Yep.
go to the friggin' game. It is an 8:30 game on Saturday, so you ain't need to worry about the heat. We had a breeze this weekend, so there was a little bit of breeze coming into the bowl this weekend, so it helped out. It was comfortable this weekend, so you forget that it's 104 degrees and uh, pick the right side of the stadium too. But like I said, 8:30, so you ain't gonna worry about the sun at all. So come to the stadium, watch the girls play, man. Root them on. Let's see if we can get this dub this weekend. 8:30, and Dynamo don't play till 9:30 on the road in LAFC, so you could leave the game at the Dash when it ends and run to Little Woodrow's or Pitch 25 and watch the second half of the Dynamo game right there downtown Edo. I want to see you there.
Yep. Go Dash. And yeah, we'll see how the rest of the season goes. If they win out, great. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All good. See you next week, Dash. See you Saturday night.
Well, yeah, it's now time to talk about Dynamo. They lost 1-0 at home against Florida FC. And I said last week that it was a game they had to win, a winnable game. It was that way, but unfortunately, once again, this year, they decide to mess with themselves in the sense of having all the opportunities in the world to score 10 goals and only to lose by individual mistakes. And I hated watching that game after the goal was scored because they were doing all the build up, they were doing everything they could, but I was pretty much convinced after watching some of the games that they lost that all the other teams figured out what to do, and it's a combination of just crushing inside the box to not let any opportunities in, and just wait for the Dynamo to mess up because they just keep taking these shots outside the box that or trying to put passes inside the box to try to make out something, and nothing worked. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, guys, we are losing this game because of us. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we we've seen this over and over again. They've been able to get results out of situations like these, but at home especially, and in certain places all over this year, like you could just see that they are not able to break through sometimes. And I'm just sitting there just looking so confused and angry because we have all the pieces we need to win games, and they keep putting themselves in situations where they're just like mentally they're just awful sometimes, and the players that have to step up for some reason they just step back. Artur Sviatchenko in particular this game, and it's just it's just unfortunate. We just like the last league game we won against Vancouver on the road. We've never done that before, and now we just like come back from Leagues Cup after 2 weeks, and we just lose like this, and we expect to make playoffs or at least like keep our spot in the fifth place. It's kind of like, what are we doing, man? Like we have everything we need, and we keep putting ourselves in this situation. Like it sucks.
Well, for those that listen to the press conference, the Ben, as always, they start with Ben, give us their thoughts on the game, and he gave us his thoughts. And you could have ended the press conference right there. He's like, same story, different day. We're possess, we control, 71% possession. We play our game. We do what we're supposed to do. 18 shots. But here we are. We make one mistake on a set piece, give up a goal, and that's the goal that we lose this game. We can't even score a goal in return. It's very frustrating, and it's one of those where you are, again, probably just taking that extra pass, but Ben's style is predictable. As we talk about it every week, we understand how his style works and his system works, so it's very predictable. And if you can defend it a particular way and the offense can't take advantage of that defense, then why adjust? And Dorsey was a little bit creative, but couldn't get nothing coming off from that side. Aliyu couldn't get nothing coming off from the other side. So you're not getting nothing into Ponce in the box, and shots were being blocked because you're taking an extra shot because you're looking for that open space, and just instead of taking chances and taking rips and putting them on, the ones where just took rips instead of just trying to control and just look for the space. It was the Dorsey one early in the first half. Ball was deflected out, and he just took a one-timer and almost scored a goal. A couple others, but man, I'm with Ben. Like, I didn't even want to talk to Ben in the press conference, as he probably didn't want to talk to us. That was just annoying, frustrating. You do everything right except score, and you take 18 shots, and a lot of those shots were going to be on target, and a couple were on target. Sean Johnson had to make a couple tough saves, but credit to their defense. They stayed compact in the box and didn't let anything through. And then their Italian star, Burkhardt, or however you call him. I'm not going to pronounce it because I'll just butcher it already. But hey, he's a hustle horse over there, playing defense and playing offense for Toronto, doing a good job stopping the wings. Oh man, it was just frustrating to watch that entire friggin' game. Create. Creativity is not the issue for the Dynamo. It is the finishing touch. It's not creativity. We don't need a cam. We have enough going on. We have the vision. We just cannot shoot the friggin' ball. We cannot take the advantages when they're there. We're trying to do too much still, and they're not getting that part, man. Let's just go back to the basics and just shoot the friggin' ball, and they're not doing that.
Only 4 shots on target out of the 18.
At least 7, 8 of those were blocked shots that were going to be on target. So yeah, that stat makes it. You can tell shots are not getting through by you saying that 4 shots on target. So they're not getting through the defense and making keepers make the save. We hit the post. We destroyed the post once in this game, and it goes out for a goal kick. But Jesus, several opportunities, man. You thought we had several goals as well too. So, and again, one stupid mistake on a set piece, and they score off the back of the defender, and somebody forgot to wake Steve Clark up. So he didn't even make an attempt to save it. He just watches it go in the goal. That's how bad it was.
And you said it. we have the chances. We're just only missing the finishing shot because at this point, if you're taking 14 shots that just go wide, like for me, like obviously it's tough to make a shot, at least like to go on target depending on situation you're at in a game. But at least in the second half, for me, it kind of looked like there was just like shooting to see what happens, and you're not gonna score a goal that way. And for me, it was definitely infuriating because they were creating all these opportunities, and towards the end, they was just like shooting randomly, and like Svechenko, for example, like he was just like shooting it outside the box, and I'm like, bro, we're gonna lose this game this way, and it turned out to be that way. But
No, hold on.
but
He just
again,
took the
like
best
they.
shot. Eric took the best shot of the game and made Sean make that excellent freaking save. You thought it was going in, and Eric talked about it in the press conference after the game where he's being allowed to move up a little bit more into the attack because we're possessing the ball so much. So he had two shots for sure, and one of them was just the best shot of the freaking game, forcing Sean Johnson to make that save, and it looked like it was going in, man. It was going in. So I'm not complaining that Eric's taking shots, man, and get it, bro. Get it. I had Vincent Company
Yeah,
highlights right there from Men City days, just taking that rip.
like I was talking about the other one, but I do agree that like
Oh yeah,
he got pretty close, as well as some other players that were able to like get to the goal or like make Sean Johnson work for it. But yeah, it just sucks because we keep losing games this way, we keep losing points this way, um, and we can't we like we're much better on the road than at home this year. So it's kind of like, what's going on?
what is going on? Ben don't even know what's going on, and he doesn't know what to do anymore. It's just one of those. The boys are going to have to figure it out on their own, and now's the best time to do it. You've got LAFC that just lost Leagues Cup to Columbus 3-1, who are getting ready to host us. They have an Open Cup final coming up as well. So you don't know what LAFC you're going to get in this back-to-back series with home and home series with LA we got coming up, but boys going to have to figure it out. So let's go into LA, figure it out, and then come back home and continue to figure it out and beat them back to back
Yeah,
and
yeah,
take that second place team and let the league, all right, we figured it out, guys. Here we are. We're ready to compete. As this freaking loss, Dallas and Austin won, and they're right behind us. Austin's 3 points behind us now. That's embarrassing to say. We're letting them catch up.
yeah. I guess we figure something out on the road, but when we host them again at home the week after, it's gonna be like, okay, guys, get those points.
Mm-hmm.
Because after that we're playing like we have the homestand with them, then RSL, then Vancouver, and those games are gonna be insane too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the final stretch of the season, by the way. So we need all the points.
Yeah, and you end
So
this you end the
figure it
season
out.
with LA Galaxy on decision day. You do not have an easy schedule coming down the stretch, so you gotta put it together. You gotta play your games, man, and shoot, we gotta fix it now. It is now not the time for this crap to y'all be working on this crap. Fix it, find it, let's do it. Score some goals, let's kill them. Next, LAFC going down.
Right?
Yeah. I know.
No, but
I'm not as confident as you either.
yeah, that was bad Dynamo. Let's talk about good Dynamo. Dynamo two, because they
Woo!
were we just watched the game and they won, so it's great.
Woo! Somebody had
Three
to
to
win this
one.
week.
Yeah, Gabe Segal, man, Gabe Segal only scores bangers, and he's a beast with Dynamo too, and he got to brace this game. So I'm very happy for him.
What a brace. And let's correct that. Gabe Siegel only scores bangers because neither one of them were bangers this game. They were just great assists with Gabe Siegel with his great finish. And golazos is probably what you can call them. Golazo. Because, yeah, bangers, man, they're like rips, like that Eric Cervinko shot. Whenever I hear a banger, I look for it. I'm like, oh, shit, that was a banger, bro. But Gabe Siegel, two golazos, and he's that striker making that run and testing those defenders inside the box too. And the vision from the other players from Dose to see that, and Scylla one to see that and just put Siegel in that place, and then Siegel finishes, man. So yeah, I can hear the fans now. Siegel needs to be on the first team. All right, well, calm down, people. He's doing a good job, but that is a good thing for the way Gabe is playing, man, on the first team, and I'm glad he's getting minutes. Not to mention Booker Reigns got minutes in this game. Mackenzie Gaines got minutes in this game. So it's cool to see some players that are not getting minutes for the first team are getting minutes for Dose and doing well and playing well. We're not even going to mention Valverde. Oops.
The way the game started, because once again, Dynamo had all the momentum going into this one, and then they conceded first again, which I was like, of course they did, but they're gonna come back. And the way they started the comeback was an own goal off of them, and then Gabe Segal got the brace. So overall happy. The boys defended very well. Like up until the second half, Xavier Valdez had to work more just to keep things against Minnesota, because Minnesota was just pushing forward in that time, and defensively overall they did a pretty good job. So congrats to the boys. They swept Minnesota too this year. So good job.
3 games swept, not just the past 2. So and Minnesota, they're Minnesota 2 is not a very good team right now. They're very young, and so this was good for Dose to, you expect to win both these games, and you do go out and win both these games, 7 goals to 2 goals in the 2 games. So yeah, I'm sure Kenny Bundy is happy tonight. Obviously, we'll have to refer to DFTV for the post game and see what Kenny Bundy does have to say about it, and what we're going to do moving forward to the next game. But we have some big games coming up this. Not to mention here in a few weeks, they're going to be here in Austin for us on a Friday night.
Yep.
And hopefully it's a meaningful game, because Austin, too, who are the defending champs, are below us in the table and not having a good season at all. So that could be another a winnable game that you must win and go into a favorable. And you haven't won in Austin either. So that's let's, like we said from last episode, we're going to get a dub and let the first team come in and get a dub the following week, man.
No, yeah, I wanted to say that because they only, in the last 10 games, they only lost 2 of them. So they've been on a run right now to turn things around, and thankfully they made it to, because of this win, these 2 wins this week, they're up in 8th place, which is the last playoff spot. So absolutely great news. But of course we do have 5 games left in the schedule, and that game against Austin is one of them. And the next game, which is going to be next Sunday, is going to be against Ventura County. So
the return of Achara.
Yeah. Oh boy. Your favorite player.
Who scored a goal in his first start for Ventura County. I don't know what he did this weekend, but yeah, last weekend he played his first game and scored already. So yeah, he's coming in, man, and we better not let him score against us, or I'm going to be mad on this episode.
Yeah, and I believe, so we're 32 points now, and from first place it's still 46 points. So there's still a gap in between to at least try to get in the middle of the pack for a playoff spot. So they just gotta keep winning games, man. So to keep climbing those standings, get a safe spot. Only 5 games left in the schedule. The boys need to keep working, keep getting those wins, but they're in a pretty good run right now.
Hey, let's remember, all you have to do is make the top 8, and the way you're playing right now, that top seed team isn't going to pick you to play in the playoffs. You can come in at 8, the run you're on. So you don't know what's going to happen. That little kink in the playoffs where the top seeded teams get to choose who they're going to play in the first round is throws you in for a little. All right, we're going to get, man, who we can get. We're hot. They're afraid of us. Let's go make a run into the playoffs. But like I said, got to keep going and got to keep playing the way they're playing, and just keep getting wins when they need to get wins, and then steal points whenever you're the underdog. So it's good times for the Dose side right now. 4 games this weekend. Dose gets 2 wins. Dose, Dash, and Dynamo both lose 1-0. So we'll call it a split. and be happy with it.
That
I
works.
guess. I
Yeah,
guess. I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
No, yeah, crunch time for all the teams, man. Like it's the playoffs are bound, and we'll see how it goes. Like it's just a lot of things going on at the same time, so it's a lot of soccer to watch.
Yeah, for damn sure, man. And hey, check out the Hustletown Roundup. Been putting all the news that's been going on around Houston, and even throwing in a couple articles from various sources out there just to add some news to the link. But for the game recaps, I've been putting all the goals that the teams have been scoring, so you can go back and get a recap to see the highlight of the goals if you didn't see the goals scored. So that's something a little special about the recaps you're doing. But go check out the roundup. It's got all the articles that are being written by Juan and us and anybody else. I threw a BioCity article in there last week. I might throw another one in this week. You've got the Arzu news. You've got the Colombian guys signing news. Uh, Anything that's going on, it's there. So go check it out. Subscribe to it. You can subscribe to it. It's down there in the bottom right corner, and just check it out. I'll keep it updated every week, and we'll see how it goes. And just but if you missed something, you didn't. You just got to catch the article, and then you didn't miss nothing, or the newsletter, I should say.
And this week also, her mom was able to interview Griffin Dorsey. So check out that
Hold on.
exclusive interview. It's on. Yeah.
You say Herman. I was there too. We worked together. We did this thing. I let him know on Thursday that I was coming in early, and he put in the request, and the request was honored. Thank you to the Dynamo. You know who you are. Won't mention your name, but yeah, man, he was able to let us know, because we got there at practice at 9:30 to see the first 15 minutes, and we were given the name that we were going to be able to interview. So while the team was practicing, we went into the lobby right there where the academy kids are actually doing homework and doing their school, and we just kind of work together. Let Herman his questions in that he wants to get in, and then he's like, okay, what else can we do this, and kind of work together, adding our insight together before, and we just did our prep work, and I on the camera. I didn't feel like that we needed to do a 2v1 with Dorsey, just 2v1. I was kind of producing behind the scenes. Her mom was like, he was, what's next, man? It's like, oh yeah, like I was sitting there doing hand signals behind the camera. Dorsey, whatever. By the way, as you heard to the beginning of this episode, Dorsey said, "Hey, I'm Dorsey, and you're listening to Noodle Time." And he threw the H's up. Hey, I was quick like this. Hey, throw the H's up, and he threw the H's up. So, man, it was fun, and that interview was fun. So if you have not heard it yet, go check it out. It is on YouTube on Foxtrot TV, and Herman doing a great job to keep the flow of that interview just sounding professional and looking professional, and they're coming up with the questions, and then the icebreakers are fun, man. Hashtag Head and Shoulders needs to get Griffin Dorsey in a commercial, man. We all love it.
That was the best part of the video, honestly. Like the end. So I'm not gonna spoil it. So just watch it. But it's great. And of course, shout out to OSG for producing the all the production. Honestly, so it's wonderful.
I just made this surprise trip in on a Friday morning because I was already off for work, coming to the Dash game, and I just, you know what, let's put in some work.
Nice.
And like I said, last second notice given to Herman, and Herman was off on Friday as well, so we both ended up going. DFTV was at practice as well. They actually had their own little interview. I won't spoil it or say anything about that, but you can look forward to theirs. Theirs, I believe, was a dose related interview, but interesting interview. Interesting information that could be coming out from that one as well. We did the Ben press conference from the HSP. We did it from HSP, so we stuck around, man. We were there from like 9:30 to 12:45. So just putting in the work and having fun, man, doing a great time. And then we went to Pluckers, and we just we took David from DFTV, went to Pluckers, and just kind of edited it and worked on it, and just had a good time, and just talked about things before we had to check in with the Dash later that night. But Yeah, man. Herman, good job with that interview. But like Foxtrot said, man, go check out the Dorsey interview. It's there. It's 10 minutes long, so we're not taking up too much of your time. And it's fun. It is fun interview.
A lot of content does, man, and we just keep producing stuff like OSG, Herman, like Juan, everyone that just works behind the scenes in Dynamo Dash, Dynamo 2 games. So just keep supporting them. We do it because we love it, man. So a shout out to all of them. And of course, guys, we do appreciate you tuning into this one. And thank you guys for tuning in. And stay noodle, y'all.
H is up.